Okay, our next stand-up panelist at BE Mixer in Warsaw, 2024, 16th of October, is no one else but Marcin Klammer.
Thank you, Alexander. Yes, it's me. Hi, everyone.
Yes.
By the way, thanks for inviting me to this noble panel. Yeah, I'm really grateful. And with such great predecessors, I hope I'll keep up.
Time will show, of course, yes. So if you don't know yet, Marcin joined PRCH, or Polish Council of Shopping Centers. But from what I know from LinkedIn and, also observing or following Marcin's talents evolution, let's say, you've been involved in various types of businesses, including engineering consultancies, including one of the most aggressive asserts, if you could say, office developer as well, HB Reavis, right? We could be plugging some of the companies we like so much. But now PRCH, Polish Council of Shopping Centers. Why the choice?
That's a good... Will you hold it or shall I hold it?
I will hold it, okay.
I'll answer your question in a sec. I just wanted to clarify that Polish Council of Shopping Centers is part of the European Council of Shopping Places. Yeah. So we've recently renamed from the European Council of Shopping Centers to European Council of Shopping Places, and it's a very active association of shopping owners, of shopping center owners, or shopping asset owners and operators. There's a little bit of a tactical story, but the predominant reason was that the retail and the retail places, as you see, places, not centers, evolve, and hence the name, which is more appropriate to all the shopping places, which are no longer shopping malls or shopping centers. These are really places, and what we do in our industry is to create places for shopping. And to answer your question, yes, going through different cycles of my career, I see the retail property sector as a very solid assets, and I think it will be the number one sought after assets in the future. Hence me joining the PRCH. And besides, I've been involved with the association from the very beginning for over 20 years as a member, now as a general manager or as managing director. So retail's always been close to my heart, and I've personally managed development of a number of shopping centers, and I managed the company which developed shopping centers and shopping places in the past. So I consider that a natural development, natural path in my career.
And in the last couple of years, we could say, due to COVID and some other impactful occurrences in what's around us, shopping centers have gone through pretty challenging times. But it's now becoming more and more difficult to park in shopping centers over the weekend, or should I say Saturdays. And not to mention, people are also more and more often asked for niedziele handlowe, or trade on Sundays. So what's your take on Sundays? Should Sundays be trade Sundays? And do you, as an organization, also kind of advocate for that change, or rather reverse in the regulation?
Yeah, I'll take your points one by one, if I may. So starting with the pandemic, yes, it's been a black swan for the whole industry. Yeah, the shopping centers were shopping centers, shopping places were closed. There were different regulatory restrictions, predominantly in Poland, where there was a set rules on the rent.
At some point of time, there was a cutthroat fight between tenants.
Oh, really?
And landlords. Yeah, because landlords, mostly foreign owners, and tenants. Let's say many tenants are local businesses as well. So there was a coalition of tenants that went to government to ask for support, and they did get the support, and actually pushing on landlords at times. And during COVID time, it was very, very stressful, should I say? But it's now changing, I think. Okay.
So that's for those spectators who have not experienced that. I would say this is water down the bridge. So we are partners with the tenants in the business, and many, as you said, many Polish brands really developed by their presence in shopping centers. I mean, let's be clear. Yeah, the big four of Polish tenants, they have developed in shopping centers. But I would like to relate back to what you said about this is less and less possible to park in shopping centers or in the shop.
Yeah, there's a renaissance in shopping centers, you could say.
I hope that soon we won't have to park. I hope that soon we'll be able to ride a bike and commute or come to the shopping center in different way. Of course, there are some things that we won't overcome. I mean, there are some places where we will have to drive, but I think that one of the biggest challenges for the shopping centers is the ESG and the green transformation, the energy transformation, and really the sustainability. Let's be clear, there are some places where we will have to drive, like you have to drive some places, I have to drive some places. But if we can take an alternative route, use this so-called the active mobility, this would be ideal. And I'm very pro such solutions.
Yeah. When you say driving a car, you mean driving your own car, not a self-driving car. Are you a fan of Elon Musk and recent progress with his self-driving taxis and robots, all of this stuff?
Yeah, I meant I meant this driving own cars. It doesn't matter whether it's a e-car or a combustion engine car. I think it still takes space, and space is limited. But let me come back to your point on the...
No, wait. That's interesting. That's something interesting. So, knowing what we know now, self-driving or autonomous mobility is like what, doomed to develop. And at some point of time, I understand your point is that parking places will not be needed at shopping centers and retail assets because people or tenants will be driven by self-driving taxis or whatever, and then those places will be vacated for some other reasons.
No, that's not what I said. What I said was that I hope we won't have to drive to shopping centers, and instead we'll ride our bikes, we'll walk, or we'll take a scooter to the shopping center. I think that there's a solid ingredient of every shopping place, which is a parking place. Yeah, I mean, not every. There are some that have less, like those located on the transportation hubs and so on. But I hope that I hope that in everyday life we will move away from cars anyway.
Do you own a car? How many cars do you own in your family?
I own one car, which I use for long distance trips, but every day I use the public transportation and a bike.
Same for me, because I live by the metro.
I don't live by the metro, but I take the bike to the metro and then take the metro. So
yeah.
Can I relate to your renaissance of the shopping places, of the retail?
Of course.
Because this is my main point. That's the shopping places or the retail assets. They are frequented by the same or higher number of visitors. So the footfall.
Oh yeah, footfall is increasing. Yes,
it's increasing.
You can see this by the bare eye.
We measure it every month.
Of course.
Yeah, as the Polish Council of Shopping Centers, and it's come back to its pre-pandemic level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's gradually increasing as well. The turnover is higher than the pre-pandemic. Yeah, so the income generated by tenants is higher than the pre-pandemic.
Due to inflation or some other factors, or is it inflation? How to say inflation corrected, or how does it this?
No, it's. I mean, it includes inflation, but nevertheless, you know, the turnover is higher. If we take into account the inflation here, inflation there, you know, in this part of the goods or the other, we would get wrapped up too much in detail. But generally, the assets are performing well. There are very few of those who have to reposition themselves or had repositioned themselves, and I consider that. I consider the retail assets as a very solid investment product.
Really? Really? Yeah. You know, proof of the pudding is in the eating. Proof of the interest in retail assets is in the investments.
Absolutely.
How many investments you've had in Poland this year?
Absolutely, and you banged the nail right on the head, because you know against the perception, the assets are performing well. It just takes the change of attitude of investors to really put their eyes on the retail assets. We've had some transactions this year, some big transactions this year. I think the assets were discounted. for better or worse reasons.
Yeah.
But I am positive that the good assets will find their investors, and as soon as the financing institutions change their attitude, I'm talking about the big banks and the big lenders. These are very solid. These are very solid assets. We spoke, or not we, but it was said that retail is dead. Yeah, retail is not dead. The market was worried about e-commerce. Well, the e-commerce in Poland constitutes 8.5% of the total retail.
You mean currently after this spike?
Yeah, and okay, there are some countries in the in the EU where the e-commerce is higher, it's 12, sometimes 16, but still, the majority of retail purchases are conducted through the offline shops, and in Poland, the purchase in shopping centers, shopping places, including retail parks, it constitutes 40% of the total trade, of the total retail market.
Why so? Is it like in human nature to go somewhere outside and experience something, not only like shopping experience, but also finding yourself around people and changing whatever visual cues you have around you?
What we found out in the research that we conducted spring this year is that majority of people, i.e. 88% of visits, are driven by the pure need of doing the shopping offline. Yeah. So, and we've conducted this study based on a sample of 5,000 respondents, and over 60% and the majority of answers was that especially the younger generation, they really want to experience. They seek physical experience.
Oh wow!
They want to see the shop attendant. They want to experience the good. They want to have the social interaction while doing shopping. Yeah. So in terms of the risk of the online trade or online shopping, I consider that as the element of the industry. But it's proven that the offline shops stimulate more online trade than the other way around. So I don't consider that as a trade, and our study confirms that it's not a threat.
So shopping activity itself is not entirely pragmatic to get some goods from point A to my own wardrobe, but there's also experiential experience, right? I mean, experiential activities. You need to have more than just the outcome of this activity, and that's why shopping centers serve this need as well, right?
Absolutely. Of course, it depends on the goods you buy. Yeah, for fashion. This holds true. Yeah, if you buy commodity, that's probably less so. And the commodity purchases are probably conducted not necessarily in the shopping centers, but in the large surface groceries or in retail parks. But this is it. I mean, the physical experience, the experience. I would call that the experience is the driver. And will remain the driver. We are physical at the end of the day. Yeah, we're not digital as human.
Look, of all the formats of retail assets, which ones you think are set to gain biggest benefits of the next couple of years? And I mean shopping centers, retail parks, standalone big retail units, like those supermarkets, hypermarkets, and so on, or convenience stores, all the known brands, and so on. Which ones would you recommend investors to pay attention to, and why?
That's a tricky question, because what we are currently experiencing is the growth of the shopping places, i.e. the retail parks.
Yeah.
So they're being built, and surprisingly, developers build them in places, in towns of even less than 10,000 inhabitants. Which was, in the past was...
Is it hype or is it calculation?
Is it what, sorry?
Is it hype or calculation?
It's no, it's saturation. So there is a need. They have a catchment. It's based on the calculation of the catchment. The currently what's trading, what's being developed and sold and invested in are retail parks. Yeah. And we've experienced some portfolio transactions, but we were also experiencing some individual transactions which are conducted between even local investors.
In Poland, right?
In Poland, yeah.
Why retail parks are so liquid now? More liquid than bigger centers, third, fourth generation or something?
Yeah, I think the answer is very simple. These are smaller volumes, yeah. So
cash transactions?
So
less reliance on loans.
I think it's mixed. It's sometimes cash for local investors, but sometimes they have a financial leverage. But I think the thing that I would recommend investors to look at are the bigger retail assets, because these are the prices they hold their price, but these are solid revenue generating assets. So, okay, we have retail parks that trade now and they're hot, but I would look at the medium and larger size shopping places or shopping centers to look at for investors.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully, once we get the REITs and implemented in Poland, we'll all be able to share a piece of profit from or the dividends.
No. We keep REITs in Poland for future conversation, and we should have a whole event on this.
Keep me in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge topic. I mean, it's a shame for Polish regulators. I can say this openly as a Polish citizen. That's a shame on Polish regulators and Polish business community as well.
If you're listening to us, it's a shame.
And business communities as well, that we are not doing the push strong enough to actually introduce, especially now when we are at the bottom of the next economic cycle, you could say. Because come on, if you see how American REITs have been performing in the last several years, that's a story of mixed ups and downs, you could say. But now it's a good vintage this year, next year, maybe in next 2 years, a good vintage year to actually put projects into Polish Polish hands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unthinkable. A huge market like Poland is owned, commercial real estate at least, but something like 95, 98%, different estimates, are in the hands of foreign investors who we respect.
Correctissimo.
Who we respect, we know, with all our hearts. You actually gave the impulse to this business. But come on, how big a portion of German market is in the hands of foreign investors?
And it's a question of the exit as well.
Exit, yes.
Exit for foreign investors, yeah. If we had REITs,
interesting.
That would be an exit.
Interesting. Yeah? That's a win-win for the foreign investors to exit to local Polish, let's say, group investor.
Yeah.
With this positive conclusion, we make
positive?
a brief.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I believe.
I'll answer to one more point, because you asked about the Sundays, the trade Sundays. So we are, as the Polish Council of Shopping Centers, opting for all trading Sundays. And this will bring the benefits for both the economy, for the government revenue, for the state revenue, and for the society.
Exactly.
So hopefully next time we meet, maybe hopefully less than in a year, maybe when we'll talk about REITs, we'll be able to conclude a bit more on the trade on Sundays.
I hope so. Marcin, that's been more than been planned in terms of time, but that's a compensation for being delayed with all the technical issues and so on.
Yeah, but you're like a machine gun, Alexander. That's why. I mean, it went so fast, 20 minutes, but...
exactly. And we have topics for...
Alexander Machine Gun.
We have topics for 2 more hours, but we have to stop now. Thank you very much for following this. And we'll do more of these events in other cities as well, in Europe and outside of this wonderful continent. Marcin, thanks a lot, and good luck with your PRCH adventure. Thank you.
Thank you.